Hi everyone, this is Tabitha. I just wanted to do a quick tutorial, like I promised that I would, for you guys to follow along with for the Easter Bunny family kits. So I have everything that I put into your little baggie. The first thing that we're actually going to do is, anybody who's taken my classes before, we're going to actually base paint our figures. So this is kind of a part where you can be a little bit more creative if you want, and if you have different paints at home that you want to use as well, that's cool. If you want to just use our paint, you can make the tan a little bit darker and have it be more like a gray if you want a gray Easter bunny, or you can follow it exactly. I'm going to try my hardest to remember exactly what the bunny looked like in the picture, but I'm going to kind of do my own thing too. So if you want to just kind of follow along, I'm just going to kind of make it look cute and the way that I want it, because that's really kind of the best part of crafting, is especially like with my classes, you get to really kind of put your own spin on things and be creative as you want. And I think for the most part, you get more creative as you go. So that's kind of cool. So if this is your first time with me in any of my classes, I'm glad that you're doing it. I'm glad that you're doing it virtually as well. For the first thing, like I said, we're going to base paint. And base painting basically means that you're going to pick the basic color that's underneath all of the accessories or the embellishments or the detailing of your project. So for me, I'm going to choose to start on the bunny. A lot of people ask me, do you have to paint the edges or do you have to paint the back? That is always up to you. If it drives you crazy, even though you know nobody's gonna see that back, but you have to paint it anyways, do your thing. Remember, everything that I say throughout this is it's just a suggestion. Everybody kind of has their own quirks and their way of doing things, and I want you to feel comfortable as you do it as well. So I'm gonna do what makes me comfortable. If there's a part where you're like, nope, I think I'm gonna base paint the bottom part first. That makes more sense to me. Go ahead and do that, okay? But what I'm gonna do is I'm going to base paint my my bunny itself, and I'm gonna use the tan that is in your kit, and then I'm gonna base paint the black for the bottom. I am gonna do the edges and the sides and the back for the base. I will not be coloring the back or painting the back of the bunny, because that's not something that drives me nuts. So I'm gonna skip that part, especially for the tutorial itself. And then I'm gonna base paint on this little carrot down here the best that I can without detailing it. And then I'm gonna blow dry it once I'm done with that process to kind of speed it along. At that point, if you have like dinner to make or whatever, or chores to do, just if you want it to air dry, that's totally fine too, even if you don't have a hair dryer. I'm probably gonna speed this process along so you don't have to watch it for 45 minutes of me base painting. So I'm gonna start base painting, and then you guys can, I'll be back to you as soon as I'm done with the base painting part. So for this part, I'm actually going to take just a little bit of the like light, like the tan or beige color that's in your big styrofoam cup, and a little bit of the red. I just would spoon it out maybe just with your small brushes in here, and you can mix it up however you want. I normally do this part kind of with my finger. I am making a rosy cheek. This works a lot better when you can blend it when your face or whatever you're trying to blend isn't completely dry. So like at this point, this is really a great opportunity to get it to blend really well. And I think it works well with my actual fingers. Let me get that there's a little bristle. You grab that sucker. Okay. So I'm gonna just kind of do a circular motion, and I'm just gonna keep adding until I like how it looks. Okay. So that part is base painted. Now, while that's kind of tacky and wet, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add a little bit of black to my plate. It's just going to make it maybe like a little bit of a gray, so that I can add a little bit of texture onto my carrot, so it doesn't just look plain Jane. We'll see how that comes out. So I'm gonna kind of do a dry brush while I do it, which means I'm pretty much, even though I, put some on there, I'm gonna wipe most of it off because I don't want it to be crazy, while I'm distressing. And while I have this color, I'm actually going to be distressing my entire piece. I hope you guys can see this okay. I'm gonna probably speed it up once I show you the technique itself. But what I like to do is I like to start kind of with the side of, like the side of my brush instead of going like this. I feel like you have a better chance of getting a smaller amount on it, and then if you want more on it, you can always go back over it, okay? This is a perfect opportunity to do that. So I noticed that I didn't put enough on, which is fine. I'm gonna really go in and I'm going to kind of I'm like concentrating on the edges right now to make it look a little bit distressed. Maybe wash your brush off, dry it super quick, and go back in with the opposite color, the tan color, and kind of dry brush over that so that it, really looks the way that you want it to look, not the way I want it to look. Once this is completely done, I'll definitely be able to show you more of a close-up, but I don't know if you can see where it's more distressed, where I added that. So as you can see, with every step, we're kind of coming along. It's starting to look more and more like a cute little bunny. So I'm just adding more to my brush. So now I am going to speed up the process. I am going to go ahead and use a blow dryer because at this point I am going to distress the bottom base part a little bit, but not a lot. So I'll get back to you and we'll get the face done, and then we'll put our accessories on. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna try to do the face. Now I'm gonna try to describe it the best way that I know how to describe it while I'm doing it. And again, forgive me because I'm doing it like sideways. So so I'm gonna do like upside down U's for the actual eyes. Okay, they're gonna be relatively close together, and then I'm gonna basically put a line underneath the U, and then I'm gonna color it in. That's the first thing I'm gonna do for the eyes. Okay, so and I'm gonna do that really close to the top of the cheeks. I don't know if you can see where I'm going with that yet. Probably not, but I'll show you closer. Okay, so this is what I mean by that. And then I'm gonna color them in, and I'm gonna extend 2 lines from each of them going out. And those are gonna kind of look like little squints, or maybe like crow's feet, or whatever you want to call it, but it makes it look really cute. So that's what I'm going to do. And again, this is kind of where you can get creative as well. If you like round eyes, go for it. Put some round eyes on it. Totally fine. But I like these, so this is what I'm going to do with mine. And if you would like to do these too, go ahead and follow what I'm doing. I think this is one of the biggest parts where people really have a hard time with their projects is the faces. So I'm going to take it and I'm going to kind of do a little wisp, and then another shorter little wisp, and I'm going to do the same thing. Hopefully they're about the same distance apart. See how we are. Let me show you up close. Okay. See? Okay. Next part. I think the easiest nose to do is really a heart, and I kind of like to do the heart relatively big. So that's what I'm going to do next. And that's going to be like a heart nose. So I did a black heart, colored it in. I'm going to show you that real quick. And then the next piece is I'm going to take my little brush and I'm going to do a line straight down. Okay? And that's going to be it as far as the actual face goes that I'm going to do. Okay, so with my small brush now, you should have one more cup, and that's going to have white. Okay, so with that, I'm actually going to do a couple of whiskers. I wouldn't get crazy about them, just kind of do 2 longer ones and then maybe a shorter one in the middle. Like I said, don't get nuts about them, just kind of guesstimate. It's going to kind of color it in. Make sure it's nice and white so it kind of stands out. Okay. So there's that little guy. And the only other thing I'm going to do that I probably should have done before I added the white, So just go ahead and wash your brush off, or just brush it off on your paper towel. And go ahead and go back to your black. And we're gonna do eyebrows. The eyebrows are kind of fun because they kind of go up. So from about, I don't know, maybe an inch from the eye and the outside, you're gonna draw a line straight up. And you're gonna do the same thing with the other. And I'm gonna show you. This is our little face, okay? All right, so our next piece is probably where people get the most freaked out. I'm gonna distress the bottom super quick while you're on the phone. Same technique. I'm really just gonna do a little bit of the, off-white around the corners on the bottom. If you like to sand and you know how to sand, and you like that look, I also do as well, but I really want to do this kind of more simple. So I'm really just going to dust more along the edges to kind of give it the sanded look without really getting the sander out, since I am in my kitchen. So I'm probably not going to show you right away, but I will show you at the end when I set it up and kind of show you guys exactly what the end product is. And I also want to see yours. So if I send you a video, once you guys get it complete, I would absolutely love to see your final outcomes, your final product. Now if I wanted to, which sometimes I do and sometimes I don't, depending on the project. But this would be really cute if you had any Spanish moss at all. Like if you had some Spanish moss to add or whatever, you could totally add it down here. Especially the green would look really cute. Maybe even a couple little flowers. But you don't have to add that, of course. Okay, so for this one, we're going to be doing the stencil part of it, which you should have a stencil with you. So this is your stencil. Hopefully it's probably backwards, but you get what I mean. If you'd like to use it, be my guest. That's what it's there for. I am going to use it. It's a little bit higher than I believe it's a little bit higher than what it is in the picture that I sent you. You can go ahead and try to hand do it if you want. I normally would hand do it, but it's really hard to try to hand do it if you're not used to it. And it's hard to kind of teach that technique. So that's something you're gonna have to really practice on your own if you wanna do that. I'm gonna do like a gray. So I'm gonna mix up a little bit of a gray. I'm gonna do that by adding a little bit of my tan to my black. And you're gonna take your sponge that was included into your kit. And this is really important, okay? I know that most of us don't, I probably have, some tape laying around. If you have tape laying around, go ahead and tape your stencil down. If not, you can use your non-dominant hand. You only need one, just to kind of secure it. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually use the actual, like the fat, thicker, flat part of this little triangle sponge. I'm gonna dip it into my color of choice, which mine's gonna be a gray. And then I'm gonna dip it 2 times onto my paper towel, okay? Because less is more when it comes to the paint that you're adding for a stencil. Trust me on this. You'll have to redo it and then you'll be mad. Just if you feel like you don't have enough on it, just give it a try first. And then if you need a little bit more, then just add a little bit more, okay? And then really, you're just gonna dab, 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 straight up and down until you need a refill. You're gonna dip in the paint again and then dab, dab on your paper towel, okay? So I'm gonna speed this process up, and then I'll show you how it turns out. So I know it's backwards, but this is how mine turned out. And I think it's kind of cute. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna take our accessories. So I gave you 2 of these in each of the kits. One of them you're gonna use kind of as a scarf. I'm gonna put mine to the side. Maybe to this side, I'm gonna try it. And really, I'm just gonna kind of tie it in a knot and just let it hang, this part of it anyways. Just kind of tug on it, make sure you're not choking him. Okay, and then this one, I'm actually gonna take and I'm gonna loop it inside. Loop it inside this, okay? And then I'm gonna make it so it's even. The 2 sides are even, and then I'm just gonna tie it like a shoe. I do mine like a double. So you're tying it around it basically, so you're making a bow, essentially is what you're doing here. Depending on if you want your bow big or small, or how you want to work it. Just gotta kind of mess with it until you love it. It over a little so I'm not completely blocking the lettering. Let's have a shorter one of them. And here, I do have scissors on hand. I'm going to shorten mine a little. Not this one over here maybe, but let's see how this looks. It's kind of cute. I do. Okay, so here's this little guy like this. And the last step that I'm gonna do, which if you have a stapler or anyone who knows me who takes my class, I hate glue guns, but if you wanted to, you could take a couple pieces of this and make a little bow and kind of stick it on your carrot. That would be really cute too. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna go ahead and try to just follow the tutorial along for the original bunny that I sent you guys. I'm just gonna wrap it and tie it like a bow, and then I'm gonna mess with it, make sure it looks cute. You can make this, you know, really however you want, as big or small as you want. I like to kind of overdo it first and then bring it back in if I can. My secret to this is if you kind of hold these 2 together, you almost like train these 2 little pieces that aren't the bows to kind of stay down. And then you go ahead and trim it. So you're gonna go ahead and trim these little strays. It's like giving a little haircut. Going to give them a little bit more of a haircut. You guys can leave it as long, as short as you want. It doesn't matter. Again, it's kind of up to you on what you like. That's the whole point. Okay, and I think my little guy is done. I'm going to show it a little bit closer, and then I will also leave a picture at the end so that you guys can see it even better. Thanks for sticking with me, guys. Happy Easter.